Wiretaps on our apps, e-privacy and security. Are we striking the right balance? Are we opening the doors to our data and giving away our freedom?
We've got an e-privacy proposal that's been widely debated, and yet this provision that we're going to talk about tonight has not gotten nearly as much attention as one might expect.
The e-privacy regulation has its primary objective to be ensuring that communications are always confidential as they're transported across services and networks. And what comes with that is then creating exceptions to that for certain public interest purposes, such as a criminal investigation or for a national security investigation, anti-terrorism, that sort of thing.
I think it's a really challenging issue because on one hand it's about giving governments the ability to access people's communications, and on the other hand, of course, e-privacy is about privacy, about ensuring that you have confidentiality of your communications. I'm more relaxed about giving my data to companies who I have a relationship with and who need me to buy stuff from them to actually continue than I do in giving my data to governments who ultimately have a monopoly over the use of force over me and have complete control.
We are a little concerned about the overarching invasion of privacy by law enforcement and national security. While these are legitimate public interests and we want to keep our citizens safe, we also don't want to raise our children and live in a world where there's an all-seeing government eye intruding on all of our most private conversations. So I think really thinking hard about what is narrowly focused technology intrusion is the role of the government, and any further than that, we are going to fight back.
Balance between privacy and public interest is about necessity in the criminal law sense of the word. We should take into account that evidence is not only about proving the guilt of people, but also proving their innocence.
Because the e-privacy regulation is expanding its scope to include legal intercept on apps potentially, that there needs to be more of a discussion around what should legal intercept look like on these kinds of apps and OTT platforms. So there needs to be a thoughtful discussion as part of this overall view of what surveillance legislation should be, of what are the differences between a network-based communication service and a non-network-based communication service, and how do we provide for a framework that allows for the right kind of laws that would apply to both of those services.
We should possibly do a step back and discuss the issue a little bit more fundamentally and carefully now, 2 weeks after GDPR is applicable, about lessons learned out of the GDPR that we might take into consideration when talking about this new piece of legislation. I don't see why we need to rush so quickly through this other piece now again.
On the evidence topic, of course, we're going to carry on discussing this file, and of course we shouldn't rush with it, that's sure, but it should be efficient, effective in terms of protecting fundamental rights and fighting crime.